My name is Kawthar Al-Halak. I am from Syria. I came to Canada like 2016, December 8th. The reason we came is to get the better education for me and my siblings. Yeah, just to get a better life. I came with my dad, my mom, and my two siblings, Khaled and Mohammed. My journey was okay. With my family, it wasn't that bad. Leaving, I was actually in Lebanon. So the most part about leaving was leaving all my relatives behind because we knew it's going to be a long journey for them to come to Canada. We were planning for them to come to Canada, and yeah, it was really difficult to leave them behind. When I first arrived to Canada, the first look I took was on the snow. I was shocked. The most thing I got worried is about the sun, how it's going to melt all that snow. The things that helped me get settled in Canada was the immigration, the people who helped me to get settled. Yeah, if without them, I wouldn't be here. The biggest challenge was in Canada was the language itself. Yeah, it was really, really hard to communicate with people, especially to now. Like, there is some words that are big to understand. My biggest source of enjoying Canada is skating. Yeah, I learned skating when I first came to Canada, and I just kept building it up. The most thing I like about Canadian culture is the maple syrup. Yeah, I do like the maple syrup. It does taste good. My proudest moments so far are what I've became so far in this country and what I've learned and my grades. What I'm hoping to accomplish in the future is to go to university and just learn to be a teacher. That's my plan. The advice I would give to somebody who came to Canada is to expect the cold weather and maybe the time changes. The reason we came to Canada, the reason we came to Canada is when they called us, they asked us do we want to come to Canada or no. So we wouldn't ask we wouldn't ask to go to another country, but if we were asked, we would definitely choose Canada again. The Syria and Lebanon's food are quite the same, but there is some different culture food, and it all depends on each country. But the food is a lot of it is rice. There's a lot of rice, and it's not spicy. And mostly we all like sweets. So yeah. Well, in Syria we have lots of sweets, and my favorite sweet is sweet cheese. So it's like a cheese, and then the dough is wrapped around the cheese. Then and it's actually a cold like sweet. Yeah. Well, the biggest difference was between Canada and Lebanon's like continuing life, but it would be like if I would wake up in Lebanon, I would have to wait till 12 o'clock to go to school, then come back at 6. But if it was here in Canada, I would wake up like at 8, get ready, and then at 9 I should be in school, and then back at 3 o'clock. Yeah, there's a lot of difference. And in Lebanon, there isn't as good as education as here. The biggest difference is people are not as nice, not as welcomes as for us as Syrians in Lebanon. People weren't nice. They just wanted us to leave. They were really racist to us. And we would try to get education as much as we can just to build ourselves up, but it's really hard. And it's still hard to this day. It's even gotten worse. Well, we had to move from Syria to Lebanon because of the war, and we couldn't get any education. It was really, really unsafe to live in Syria. I was a refugee in Lebanon, and a lot of people were very unnice and very rude to us because we were unwelcomed in Lebanon, and they refused to count us as refugees because if they did count us as refugees, they would give us like money, or they would give us like some stuff to help us live. So they really refused that. Yeah. I lived in a camp for 3 years, but when I first moved to Lebanon, I lived in a house for 2 years. Then I moved to the camp. The camp was brown-ish, and it was okay. It wasn't as big, but it was okay for 5. We would get waters from big gallons, like really big gallons. We would have to get water. I think it would have been, I don't really remember, but it was every morning or every time we needed. And the electricity was two type of electricity. It wasn't just one. So if one turned off, the other would try to turn on. Sometimes we didn't have any electricity. I wish people would know more about us, like as innocent, where we don't hurt people. Yeah, we're pretty safe. Yeah.